What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Bonnie Tyler. And we're going back to the very best of compilation provided by great friend, indeed hero of the channel, Michaela. And the next tune has a very funny name, which is A Rockin Goodway, and then parenthetically, To Mess Around and Fall in Love. And it's a duet with Shakin Stevens. So yeah, I like, the idea of a fun rockin' way to mess around and fall in love. So it sounds like, messing around is something that's often used when you're not taking something too seriously. You're just messing around, whether that's, the way you're engaging with something, or whether, the way you're treating a relationship, or at least a connection. So it feels like it could be one of those, I didn't try to fall in love, but then I did, so it's a rockin' good way to do that. Perhaps it's, less complicated. Maybe it's just genuinely enthusiastic across the board, but it's an intriguing title, and I don't think I've ever heard anything by Shakin Stevens, so yeah, I imagine that's a guy. I guess we'll see, but let's find out. This is A Rockin' Good Way to Mess Around and Fall in Love by Bonnie Tyler, a duet with Shakin Stevens, and included on her very best of compilation. Did I read it wrong? I wonder if some of those little bits at the end were just sort of, improvisational. They had that feel. And yeah, a cool duet, and Shakin Stevens has a good voice. But yeah, ultimately, I like the 1950s rock and roll stylings with maybe some more modern touches. Like the strings had a bit more of a a fully produced sound compared to some of those like classic rock and roll tunes. But yeah, it feels like it was paying homage to that earlier rock and roll sound, given the rockin' part of the title. And again, the Kissin' Good Time, it was like, wait, did I read that wrong? Is that, or Good Way? I was like, oh wait, no, it is a rockin' good way, but a kissin' good way, a huggin' good way, and they sort of work their way to a rockin' good way. But it was like, it felt scaled in that it's like saying, if you're gonna hug me the right way. Don't mess around like when you hug me. So like again, the idea of like doing something less seriously, not taking it too importantly, versus doing it properly. But then the idea that that could be, you know, writ large, the idea of messing around with someone and like, oops, it actually led to something more serious. So it feels like maybe there was something there with what I was thinking in advance, but I was admittedly, you know, focusing on the character of the vocals at least as much as the lyrics. But yeah, a fun tune, old school sort of stylings, and you know, a light sort of atmosphere. So yeah, cool tune. I do like the soulful, even bluesy vocals, and you know the sort of, you know, spoken word dialogue of it around the like proper singing lines. So a very fun track. The next time we come back, we will not be listening to "Holding Out for a Hero," though. I will insist that I have listened to that a number of times since doing the reaction, because it's like it's the tune I remembered, but like way more than that. So I am very fond of that one. But "Loving You" is a dirty job, but someone's got to do it, featuring Todd Rundgren. Quick story about Todd Rundgren. Did I mention this in a I must have. I feel like I must have done that, so I'll be quick here. But one of my favorite punk bands, Bad Religion, the lead singer and one of the main songwriters, and you know, for a while there was a period where the other main songwriter had left, who's since come back, but so for that period he was basically the only songwriter. In any case, one of his music heroes was Todd Rundgren, and so when the other guy left and they went from an independent label to a major label, Atlantic, for a few records, Rundgren produced one of their records. And apparently it was like a sort of like less than ideal experience from the lead singer of Bad Religion, Greg Graffin's point of view, and that like Rundgren had some different ideas, and he sort of, you know, wasn't relenting in some, you know, conversations or debates about, you know, what should be used or how it should be used and so on. And apparently it was just sort of like a sort of combative kind of professional environment, and you know, Graffin was sort of like, he was hurt by the experience because it was one of his musical heroes, and then they didn't quite get on in the studio, they didn't quite agree, and so on. So anytime I think of Todd Rundgren, I think of that, which is nothing against Rundgren. It's, you know, perhaps in the moment, you know, his point of view was, you know, the more artistic or valid contention. Obviously, I make no claims on those professional conversations, but it is an anecdote that I think of anytime I see that name. So regardless, that's what we'll be back for next time. Once again, major shout out to Michaela, as well as to the comatose Luca. We will just try to quickly get back onto the chair. She didn't even notice. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Peace.